Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely.
Awesome. Today we're going to be looking at AI hallucinations.
Oh, sounds spooky.
Right. And leading our deep dive is an article by Curt Robbins. He's a senior technical writer and has worked for some really impressive companies.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
FedEx, Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, even Wells Fargo.
Wow. He must know what he's talking about then.
That's what I'm thinking. So before we get too far, let's make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Can you give us a definition of AI hallucinations?
Okay, so um, imagine you're looking at a photo and you think you see a face in the background, but it's not really there.
Yeah, like you're just seeing things.
Right, exactly. It's like a human hallucination. And AI hallucinations are kind of similar, but they're happening in, AI systems. They generate things that sound like they could be real, but are completely made up.
So it's not just that the AI is a little bit wrong, it's like actually making stuff up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because of the way AI learns. It's trained on huge data sets and learns to see patterns, but it doesn't actually understand the information the same way we do.
Hmm. Okay. That's a little creepy. And, it's kind of scary to think about because AI is in so much of our lives these days.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere.
I mean, think about like navigation apps or smart home devices or even like medical diagnoses.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good point. What if those were based on hallucinations?
Right. So let's say I'm using my navigation app to get to a meeting. Could it like send me in totally the wrong direction because of a hallucination?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, think about it. Your navigation app relies on information about roads and traffic. And what if the AI behind it is hallucinating? Like it could say a road is closed when it's not, or that there's traffic where there isn't.
So it could mess up my whole commute because of a hallucination.
Yeah.
Okay, this is getting a little unsettling. But the good news is Robbins doesn't just point out the problem. He also talks about some solutions.
Yeah, he does. And he makes it clear that there's no quick fix. We need to be looking at a bunch of different things to really tackle this.
So what's the first thing on the list? What
Right.
can we do to like prevent these hallucinations from happening in the first place?
Well, one of the most important things is constantly testing and refining the AI.
Okay, so like making sure it's learning the right things and getting rid of any bad habits.
Exactly. It's kind of like taking your AI to the doctor for regular checkups.
I like that. Early detection is key.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Robbins also talks about something called ethical AI design.
Ethical AI design. What's that?
So it's like building AI systems from the ground up with a focus on being accurate and honest.
So like teaching it to tell the truth.
Yeah, making it less likely to make things up in the first place.
I like that analogy. But, even with the best intentions, AI systems are still going to make mistakes sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
So is there a way for them to like learn from their mistakes and get better?
Yeah, definitely. And that's where something called feedback loops come in.
Feedback loops.
It's kind of like when you get feedback on your work and then you use that to improve the next time, right? AI systems need that same kind of feedback to learn and grow.
So like the AI makes a mistake, gets some feedback, and then uses that to do better next time.
Exactly. And just like with anything, the quality of the feedback is super important. It all comes back to that training data. If you feed an AI system bad data, well, it's probably going to produce some pretty funky results.
So like garbage in, garbage out. Except in this case, it's more like bad data in, hallucinations out.
Exactly. We need to be feeding these systems good, diverse data. And it's not just about avoiding those hallucinations. It's about making sure AI isn't picking up biases from the data.
That's a great point. We don't want AI perpetuating existing biases, right?
Absolutely. So data quality, that's a big one. But we can't just throw data at the problem and expect it to solve everything. We have to remember the human element in all of this.
Right. We can't just completely hand over the reins to AI. What does Robbins suggest there?
He's a big advocate for what called human-in-the-loop systems, basically making sure humans stay involved, especially in situations where accuracy is really, really important.
So, like having a human double check the AI's work,
Hmm.
especially in fields like, I don't know, medicine or finance.
Exactly. Imagine getting a medical diagnosis solely from an AI that might be hallucinating. That's not exactly comforting, is it?
Not at all. Okay, so we've got testing, ethical design, feedback loops, data quality, and human oversight. Anything else we can throw at this problem?
Robbins talks about some really interesting technical approaches, too. One of them is using something called knowledge graphs.
Knowledge graphs. I'm not sure I'm familiar with those. Can you break that down for us?
Okay, so think about how you, as a human, understand the world. You know that an apple can be a fruit or a tech company, right?
Yeah.
You understand the relationships between different concepts.
Yeah.
Knowledge grabs try to do the same thing for AI. They help AI understand how different pieces of information are related to each other.
So it's like giving AI a better understanding of the world so it's less likely to make those weird connections that lead to hallucinations.
Exactly. And another fascinating technique is called RAG, short for Retrieval Augmented Generation.
Or RAG. So like some kind of AI cleaning cloth.
Huh. I wish it were that simple. But your analogy isn't too far off. RAG is all about making sure that AI's output is actually grounded in reality.
Okay, how does that work?
Imagine you have an AI writing a technical document. With RAG, instead of just pulling from its general knowledge, which might be prone to hallucinations, it actually searches through trusted, real-time sources. Think company databases, technical specs, things like that.
So it's like having a little research assistant built right into the AI. That's pretty cool.
It is. So you can see there's a lot we can do to tackle these hallucinations.
Sounds like it. But even with all these solutions, I'm still curious about what the future holds for AI. Where are we headed with all of this?
Well, Robbins actually seems pretty optimistic. He thinks that with all this research, all these new approaches, we can significantly reduce those AI hallucinations.
That's a relief. AI is such a powerful tool. It would be a shame if we couldn't trust it.
I agree. And what's really interesting is that Robbins goes beyond just the technical stuff. He talks about the need to change how we think about AI as well.
What do you mean?
He says, we need to move away from thinking of AI as something that replaces humans. We should be thinking about it more as a partner, a tool that helps us, augments our capabilities.
So it's about finding that balance between human intelligence and artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
letting each play to its strengths.
Exactly. And that's where this concept of trustworthy AI comes in. It's not just about AI being smart. It's about AI being something we can rely on, something we can trust to give us good, unbiased information.
I like that. Trustworthy AI. But how do we get there? Is it just about the algorithms? Or is it about us, too?
It's definitely both. On the tech side, we've got all those things we talked about. Testing, data quality, model architecture, those are all crucial. But then there's the human side too. Things like transparency, explainability, and accountability.
Can you break those down a little? What do those mean in the context of AI?
Sure. Transparency means being open about how AI works, what data it uses, how it makes its decisions. It's like letting us see what's going on under the hood so we can understand it better.
So no more black box AI.
Right. And explainability goes hand in hand with transparency. It means the AI's decisions, its recommendations, all of that should be explainable to humans.
So we're not just blindly trusting the AI. We want to know why it's doing what it's doing.
Exactly. And finally, there's accountability. We need to have clear guidelines for when AI makes mistakes, including those hallucinations, and figure out how to handle those situations.
So like a system of checks and balances for AI.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this all goes back to that idea of humans and AI working together as partners. We need to be actively involved in shaping how AI is developed and used. We have to hold it accountable.
This has been really insightful. I feel like I have a much better understanding of not just the technical stuff, but also like the bigger picture of AI and where it's headed.
I'm glad to hear that.
Robbins has given us a lot to think about.
He really has. And one of the key things to remember is that the future of AI isn't set in stone. We have a role to play in shaping it.
It's not just about accepting whatever technology comes our way, right?
Yeah.
We have to be actively involved, asking questions,
Right.
pushing for an AI future that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. We have the power to make AI a force for good.
It's wild, right? How AI has gone from sci-fi to something we're using every day.
Totally. And yeah, now we're talking about AI hallucinations like it's an everyday problem.
I know. But what's interesting? Robbins talks about how these hallucinations can actually tell us something about ourselves, about how we understand intelligence.
Yeah, he makes a good point there. It's like when AI does something we don't expect, when it makes things up or gets things wrong, it makes us think, wait, what does it mean to be intelligent then?
So AI learning from humans, but also humans learning from AI.
Exactly. By seeing where AI goes off the rails, we learn more about intelligence itself.
Wow, that's kind of deep. Like AI is holding up a mirror to us, showing us what we still don't get about our own minds.
I like that. And it shows that we got to approach AI with more than just the idea of using it. We need to study it, try to understand how it works.
Great point to end on, I think. As we keep going with AI, we got to stay curious, not be afraid to admit when we don't know something. And, big thanks to Curt Robbins for that article. Really got us thinking.
Definitely. Gave us a lot to talk about today.
Absolutely. And everyone listening, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into AI hallucinations. Hope you learned something new.
I know I did.
Me too. And remember, the future of AI isn't some fixed thing. It's what we make it. So keep asking questions, keep learning. Let's make AI something that works for everyone. Until next time, keep on exploring and keep diving deep.